Section 1 of The Rider on the White Horse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Availle in October 2013. The Rider on the White Horse by Theodor Storm. Translated by Margarete Münsterberg. Section 1. What I am about to tell I learned nearly half a century ago in the house of my great-grandmother, old Madame Fedderson, widow of the senator, while I was sitting beside her armchair, busy reading a magazine bound in blue pasteboard. I don't remember whether it was a copy of the Leipzig or of Pappes Hamburger Lesefrüchte. I still remember with a shudder how meanwhile the light hand of the past 80-year-old woman glided tenderly over the hair of her great-grandson. She herself and her time are buried long ago. In vain have I searched for that magazine, and therefore I am even less able to vouch for the truth of the statements in it than I am to defend them if anyone should question them. But of so much I can assure anyone, that since that time they have never been forgotten, even though no outer incident has revived them in my memory. It was in the third decade of our century, on an October afternoon, thus began the storyteller of that time, that I rode through a mighty storm along a North Frisian dike. For over an hour I had on my left the dreary marshland, already deserted by all the cattle, on my right, unpleasantly near me, the swamping waters of the North Sea. I saw nothing, however, but the yellowish-grey waves that beat against the dike unceasingly, as if they were roaring with rage, and that now and then bespattered me and my horse with dirty foam. Behind them I could see only chaotic dusk, which did not let me tell sky and earth apart, for even the half-moon which now stood in the sky was most of the time covered by wandering clouds. It was ice-cold, my clammy hands could scarcely hold the reins, and I did not wonder that the croaking and cackling crows and gulls were always letting themselves be swept inland by the storm. Nightfall had begun, and already I could no longer discern the hoof of my horse with any certainty. I had met no human soul, heard nothing but the screaming of the birds when they almost grazed me and my faithful mare with their long wings, and the raging of the wind and water. I cannot deny that now and then I wished that I were in safe quarters. It was the third day that this weather had lasted, and I had already allowed an especially dear relative to keep me longer than I should have done on his estate in one of the more northern districts. But today I could not stay longer. I had business in the city, which was even now a few hours' ride to the south, and in spite of all the persuasions of my cousin and his kind wife, in spite of the Perinette and Grand Richard apples still to be tried, I had ridden away. "Wait till you get to the sea," he had called after me from his house door. "You will turn back. Your room shall be kept for you." And really, for a moment, when a black layer of clouds spread pitch darkness around me, and at the same time the howling squalls were trying to force me and my horse down from the dike, the thought shot through my head, "Don't be a fool. Turn back and stay with your friends in their warm nest." But then it occurred to me that the way back would be longer than the way to my destination, and so I trotted on, pulling the collar of my coat up over my ears. But now something came toward me upon the dike. I heard nothing, but when the half-moon shed its spare light, I believed that I could discern more and more clearly a dark figure, and soon as it drew nearer I saw that it sat on a horse, on a long-legged, haggard white horse. A dark cloak was waving round its shoulders, and as it flew past me, two glowing eyes stared at me out of a pale face. Who was that? What did that man want? And now it came to my mind that I had not heard the beating of hoofs or any panting of the horse, and yet horse and rider had ridden close by me. Deep in thought over this I rode on, but I did not have much time to think, for straightway it flew past me again from behind, its
Sample complete. Ready to continue?